Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. It is the week of Serie A 23-24. We start again, and on Sunday, our Bianconeri will play their first competitive game of this season against Udinese. I tell you, I can't wait. In today's video, a few topics. The first one will be a controversial take about how Serie A is managing their league, and I will spoil you really bad, in a bad way. Is it a surprise? Absolutely not. And then we go towards the topic of the video, of course, Domenico Berardi. As every single transfer market session, he is linked with the Bianconeri. Will this be the transfer session where he will finally wear the shirt of the Vecchia Signora? We will discover it together, update on Lukaku, and much more. Please, I kindly ask you to put a maximum of like, because you know it. More you like, more we have reach, and we have one mission, reaching 30,000 Juventini on this channel. I hope you're ready, because we start now. As I told you, I wanted to start with a controversial take, the one of Serie A, starting later than every other league. And this is, according to me, a problem. Everyone started this weekend. EPL, Premier League, they started and everyone, the world, was watching and speaking about Premier League. The goal of Tonali, the fantastic performance of Tonali. Look at all the ex-Serie A players that are now in Premier League. Look at the beautiful games that we saw, the Brighton of De Zerbi, ex-Italian coach. Look at that, how great he's doing. Look at how fantastic Premier League is. Look at the quality of the image. Look at the lighting. Look at everything. Everything is fantastic. But it's not only Premier League that is starting before Serie A. No, because people, they want to consume football. After so long without real competitive club football, they want to see, they want to consume, they are ready to watch everything where there is a ball that is rolling on the field. Saudi Arabia League, a lot of curious eyes were watching it. We were watching Bayern Munich losing 3-0 in their trophy, not the league yet, but a big game against Leipzig. People were watching Ligue 1 with the big game, Nice against Lille. And speaking about big games, this is the second thing that Italy is not doing. And again, I have another problem there. Why is it not allowed that we start randomly with a big game in Serie A? Because if we don't accept it, the other ones, they are not waiting. Chelsea, Liverpool, the world was watching. Bayern, Leipzig, Nice, Lille. So many big games that we were able to watch. Ragazzi, for me, this is a scandal and we need to address it. Then if you tell me, Beppe, it's Ferragosto, it's warm, I don't care. We evolved, and if the other ones, maybe, probably, they are starting too early, well, we have to adapt. We can't be the only league that is starting later. And if you tell me, Beppe, but it's warm, La Liga started this weekend. Is it cooler in Spain than in Italy? I don't know. Anyway, I wanted, before speaking about Berardi, about something else. Neymar, that close, or apparently it's a done deal, will go to Al Hilal for 90 million euro for Paris Saint-Germain. Ragazzi, you see here a young Beppe. 10 years ago, I was there for the first game in Europe of Neymar that was playing in Camp Nou. I was there for the presentation of Neymar. I saw a goal of Lionel Messi, for example. I had so many expectations of that young kid. I think that he did incredible well in Europe, but far from what he could have achieved. And it's a real pity to see a player like that leaving Europe before really achieving the top. It is a pity, it is what it is. These were my words on Neymar, but we know it, we don't care. Never really close to Juve, except of last year where we were speaking a bit about it, but it was more fantamercato than something concrete. So let's speak about Corriere dello Sport, not Spalletti, not Mancini, something that we will speak about in the end of the video, but we start with Sorpresa Juve. Surprise Juve, anche Berardi, also why? Because they are still insisting on Lukaku, but also Berardi, Lukaku, Berardi to Juve. Attenzione, is it really a surprise? And this is my first question to you. Is it a surprise? Well, when you are looking at Tutto Sport, you see it. Juve, riecco, Berardi, Juve, Berardi, here we go again, here we are again, because you know it, every single Mercato session that we are speaking about the summer, that we are speaking about the winter, Berardi is linked to Juve. Since that he is 14 years old, he was already in the eye of Juve, in the target of Juve, that Juventus tried him, prefer not leaving, his parents decided to refuse it, and then he was a property of Juve between 2013-2015, half of the ownership from Juve, because he still continued to play at Sassuolo, There was a moment where we were there, we wanted to sign him, and he refused. He didn't want to because he didn't thought that he was ready, and he refused, and he stayed at Sassuolo until now, where he's ready to come. Well, if we are speaking about Berardi to Juve, it is not a surprise. It is again a here we go again. Gazzetta dello Sport is speaking about Berardi as well. Colpo d'ala, Berardi vede la Juve. Berardi is seeing Juve. The funny thing, of course, and this is not a surprise, is Berardi topless on Gazzetta dello Sport. On the front page, but also inside. Well, if you are looking at the past few weeks, the past few days about how Lukaku was without shirt and now Berardi, looks like the strategy of Gazzetta dello Sport is, if you are linked to Juve, well, you don't deserve to wear a shirt because it's the shirt of shame. The Juve shirt is a shirt of shame. Disaster. Anyway, we are absolutely not surprised about it. But now, entering the deal, what is the idea of Juventus, Giuntoli? Because apparently in Gazzetta, in Corriere, and in Tuttosport, they are saying that it's really an idea of Giuntoli that was already monitoring him for Napoli in the past. It is that he wants to have that player. Sassuolo is asking not 40 million euro this time, but 25 million for their captain. They are thinking about it, but they want to decrease that price. They don't want to spend 25 million euro cash. And what are the players that they are thinking to insert in that deal? They started with Sule, where Sassuolo said, we are not sure. Yes, we like the player. Yes, he's a young talent. Yes, he's a beautiful prospect, but we are not sure. Where Juventus come back and they say, we can even offer Ealing Jr. I take a moment, and I have never made a secret of it, I don't like the player Berardi. Not because he has zero skill, it's the worst player of the world, because that's absolutely not true. Berardi is a valid player. In his comfort zone, in Sassuolo, how many times did he refuse to go to a big team because he was not ready, because he didn't feel it? Look at the goal that he missed against Macedonia when he was playing with the national team. When the game started to be really serious, well, looks like Berardi doesn't have the courage, to go all in. And this is a problem for me. If you are a Juve player, we are missing at the moment that leadership, that captaincy, these attributes, that DNA. And for a player that in the past always spoke bad about Juve, always saying, no, I am an Interista, I don't want to go to Juve, we have a problem. And on top of that, even if I can start imagining Domenico Berardi in a 3-4-3, in a 3-5-2 at Juve, I will show you in a second the images, well, not for Ealing, not for Sule, because Ealing is a fantastic prospect. Ealing is a player that had even some opportunities to go in Premier League for cash money. We were speaking about 20-25 million euro. Sacrificing an Ealing Jr. of 19 or 20 years old for a Berardi, no thank you. Sacrificing a Sule, if we are playing a 3-5-2 where probably the role is not for him, I can even potentially think about it if you have the right to buy him back. Not definitely, not permanently for a Berardi. So I have really problems with that deal. Seriously. Now, we are having another option. It's Kostic. Kostic possibly leaving Juventus. If this is the case, if you go towards a Kostic leaving Juve, cashing in with a lot of money, because apparently we are asking towards the 20 million euro for the Serbian player, then I can start understanding a Berardi entering. For what reason? If you are looking at today's left side of the field, we have a Cambiaso with a fantastic preseason. We have a young prospect a la Ealing Jr. that is also working on his defensive skills. We have at the moment also a Kostic. We have 3 players, while on the right side we have only Wea, with a Cambiaso that could potentially play also on the right side, but we all know that he prefers to play on the left. Well, if Kostic is leaving and you go with a Berardi Wea on the right, Cambiaso, Ealing, even if I don't like the player, and this will not change until officially he signed the documents black on white, and then of course I will support him, but until that day, I think it makes no sense. No sense to sell an Ealing Jr. No sense to change an Sule for a Berardi, because we are too much on that left side. Now, how can we look in a 3-4-3, and what are the reasons why I tell you, why not? 3-4-3 with Chiesa on the left, Vlahovic in the middle, Berardi on the right side, Wea, Cambiaso on the wings, two-man midfield. What does that mean? That you don't have necessarily to go on the market spending a lot of money for a Thuram, that is my dream, for a young prospect, a promise that is Habib Diarra, an Amrabat, and so on and so on. You keep that money and you go towards a 3-4-3. 3-4-3 that we are 1 week before the start of the season and that we never tested, except of a few minutes in the last game against Atalanta. Well, let me know what you think about Berardi. Let me know if you think that it could be an option. For what would you say yes? For what would you say no? You can go with the Berardi only cash, which will be impossible. You can go with the Berardi if you sell Kostic. You can even think about the Berardi inserting players like Ealing Jr. or Sule. Let me know what you think about it. If you are thinking that Kostic has no offer, you are wrong. Why? Because Nikos Kira yesterday told us that there are a lot of teams on him, Premier League and also Saudi Arabia teams, with an offer of 15-20 million euro, the Serbian player could leave. So pay attention to Serbian number 11 that is not 100% sure to stay at Juve. Is this maybe why Kostic was not the best player of our preseason? Could be. Mentally not sure to stay? Could be. Anyway, we switch towards the other saga. Lukaku, Vlahovic, yes, but under the shadow. Not in the spotlight. We spoke so much about Vlahovic, Lukaku. At the moment, nothing has been done. I don't want to recap all the story because you know it better than me. But apparently, according to Corriere, according to Tuttosport, it is not over. Because Lukaku is not in the plans of Chelsea that yesterday did 1-1 against Liverpool. They really want to sell him to the best possible offer. That is from Saudi Arabia, but Lukaku keeps insisting that he wants to join Max Allegri and Juventus only. Will, in the last day of the Mercato, this deal happen? Lukaku to Juve, maybe for Vlahovic or without Vlahovic? Well, ragazzi, pay attention because it's not over yet. Today there will be the medical test of Zakaria and hopefully soon we will announce it because that's important. And then Barrenechea to Frosinone is also a done deal on loan without option or without permanent deal. We go towards the beautiful news. Happy birthday of Giorgio Chiellini today, legend of Juventus. I can't wait for the day that he's coming back in a managerial role at Juve. Anyway, from one defender to another, there are some things that I already anticipated you on the channel, thinking logically. Well, more and more we are going towards Kaiser. Dean Huijsen being definitely promoted to the first team after him impressing not only all the tifosi but also the technical staff of Juve, first with Montero, then with Brambrilla, is also really surprising and in a positive way Max Allegri and his technical staff. I told you we have different signs to understand that he's a first team player at the moment. First, Giuntoli that said we will not sign any other defender. If the opportunity comes, we can sell one. Well, the winter left. The second thing that we are insisting in the three-man defense. With Berardi, without Berardi, 3-4-3 or 3-5-2, we go with that three-man defense. If you go with three-man defense, you need 6 defenders. And at the moment, on top of the 5 that we already have, without Bonucci, well, it is Dean Huijsen that is that 6th man at the moment. 6, but it can also be the 5th or the 4th or the 3rd or the 2nd. Probably not the first one at the moment. Another curiosity, another sign that is pushing towards that direction is that he's still continuing to train with the first team. And yesterday in that friendly Pro Vercelli against Juve that Juventus Next Gen won 7-2, well, he didn't play. He was not called up. A lot of players played. Also, Kenan Yildiz went back to play with Nonje, with Haza. One day after that friendly against Atalanta, Yildiz was on the field. He was starting. So it's not like I need to rest and Huijsen need to rest. No, Yildiz yes, Huijsen no. Huijsen was enjoying her day off and he will continue to prepare the season with the first team. I can already guarantee you or bet you that on Sunday he will be on the bench against Udinese. Yildiz, fantastic performance yesterday with 2 goals, same as Mbangula. You know that Mbangula is a player that I am promoting a lot on the channel since a few years. Nonje, beautiful performance. The guys did really well in an ultra offensive lineup. Let's see if that ultra offensive lineup will also continue. If you want me to give you more and more updates about the next gen team this season, let me know, maybe with a watch along if we have the opportunity or not. Let me know, I'm curious to think what you want about that next-gen project. Yesterday, and now we go towards, I believe, the final, it's the final topic of the video. Yesterday, breaking news, Mancini left La Nazionale Italiana. What are the successors, possibly? Antonio Conte, Spalletti. They are even speaking about Fabio Grosso, but yesterday also a lot of Juventini were pushing towards Max Allegri to Juve. I can tell you that it would be the most crazy thing ever after a preseason where things looks like being much better than the last two seasons, that Max is deciding now to leave Juve to go to the national team. An option that himself is thinking about in the future, but probably was not expecting it today. Now, Max Allegri will not go to the national team. It is a game between Spalletti, Grosso, and Antonio Conte. My preferred one will be Antonio Conte. The one I think it would be, it's Spalletti if Federazione Italiana Gioco Calcio is able to find an agreement with Napoli, because there is a clause of 3 million euro. But that's not really what I wanted to speak about. First of all, Mancini is 1 year, 5 months and 21 days too late, because after that Macedonia loss, after not qualifying to the World Cup, he should have given dismissal. Now he's pushing that narrative so long that a few weeks before continuing that Euro qualification, is giving up. Yesterday, a lot of journalists, and to tell you the anti-Juve narrative, they started to link his reason of giving up on La Nazionale for a reason. Because apparently Gravina was insisting for Bonucci to enter the technical staff of Mancini. After Barzagli, after Buffon, it was Bonucci entering that staff, where Mancini said, no, I don't want to, I am against that decision, I leave. I was immediately thinking, how is it even possible? At the moment, Bonucci is still a player. We all know that his objective is to finish his career at Euro 2024 if Italy qualifies. At the moment it's difficult because he's not playing, but that's his objective. So how can he enter the technical staff? He's still a player. One. Secondly, if we see how much trust Mancini has given to Bonucci, even when he was already finished, still continuing to play, I don't see why Mancini would not give a chance to Bonucci in the future in that management staff. So I was already starting thinking, it makes no sense. Why again putting the responsibility on Juventus and a Juventus player for the decision of Mancini? Where a few hours later, what do you see? That Mancini is about to take over the Saudi Arabia national team with a package of 120 million euro, 40 million euro a year. Is this not maybe the valid reason that Mancini is going towards the attractive money of 40 million euro a year instead of Bonucci possibly entering the staff? Ragazzi. Just to say you, when there is a thing, if they can put dirt on the name of Juve, it's always there. What about Bonucci? Yesterday, they were photographed by paparazzi on a terrace on Forte dei Marmi together with Pradè, that is working at Fiorentina. So a lot of voices immediately towards Fiorentina and Bonucci will be a done deal. Has been denied by everyone. He will not go to Fiorentina, but there are still two players, two teams on him, Union Berlino and Lazio that we already spoke about a few weeks ago. What will be the possible destination of Bonucci? We will discover in the next few days, even if for his side, at the moment, he's pushing to reintegrate Juventus team. Big question mark about Bonucci. Let me know what you thought about today's video. Grazie, forza, Juve.